Have you looked at the date today? Like I cannot believe that it's already 3 months complete in 2026. So I was asking myself this morning, am I where I want to be? Well, I still have to think about the answer. Okay. So yes, already like the quarter of the year that is gone. So as you guys know, like our podcast is really like to help you think through, okay, what you've gone through into your business. It's really like a transformational podcast. Is to help us reflect and also develop abilities, competences to get through life, but also like to become a better in your job and in your business. So today we are continuing into our book. So we have started last week. Is it last week?
Yes, last week.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Already. It feels like it was like more than that already. So our new book from Charles Duhigg, it's Super Communicators. If you guys like want to order it, is pretty amazing. So yesterday, I just want to do a little like comeback on what we've covered before we get into our chapter. We've dig a little bit into the three different type of conversation. So we have been talking about the decision making mindset, but I just want to remind you mostly what is happening into your brain because we will get like in the content of how to identify and like build those conversation. So what is happening into your brain in a decision making mindset is to understand that everything is going in the front of your brain, in the prefrontal cortex. So this is where we take the executive function. So this is where we take decision. Then we've talked about the emotional mindset. So the emotional mindset is the in the completely opposite side of your brain. So it's close to your neck. So it happens into like your amygdala and your hippocampus. So this is where everything like fear, reaction, empathy, and bodily sensation happen. This is the area of emotion and memories. And finally, the third type of mindset is the social mindset. So the social mindset is about our identity, the place where we belong in a group. So this is calling in the part of our brain that is the survival mode. So what is that tribe that I belong to? So it's the very primitive part of our brain. So as we can see, depending on which type of conversation we are having, we use different part of our brain. But when we are in a specific part, let's say the emotional one, in that emotional mindset, we feel disconnect from the other part. So that's the reason why if us as super communicator, we don't adapt to what is that type of conversation, we are creating friction with people, and this can be damageable for the relationship. So that was what we've covered yesterday. So today we are going to dig in something completely different, and we are going actually to talk and discuss about what the author Duhigg called the learning conversation.
Exactly, Jean-Philippe. Jean-Philippe. And yes, this is exactly what it's fascinating. It's not about what talent, it's about rules. We're gonna learn how we can read the room and say, okay, yes, we are going to talk about this, and we are going to have, let's say, we're gonna have the four rules of the learning conversation. So we're
Yes.
gonna dissect them together.
Yes, exactly. So the rule number one is what we call the purpose of the conversation. So that first rule seems pretty much simple, okay? But it is so important to identify that. Why? And it's by determining what type of conversation is taking place. So ask yourself, are you there to solve a problem? Are you there to share feelings, or are you there to talk about who we are?
Yes. So sometimes we feel that we are not having the same conversation with the people, and we often jump to conclusion. Okay, because we think we are in a solution discussion. So let's say we have a problem. Okay, and I want to make sure that these problems we take care of this problem, but the other person, she have the problem, but she live emotion and she talk about how she feel about that problem. But me, I'm here to make sure that we find a solution. So I'm in the solution mode, she is in emotional mode. So very difficult. So I love your what you said yesterday. Okay, I am in Europe. I have my plug and it doesn't work. Okay, so this is an American plug, and I am in Europe. Doesn't work. Okay, so we cannot connect that way.
So it happens very often, and if I think of our job, okay, I've been doing it for over 10 years now. Sylvain, you're close like to 20 years also in the business. So we've tried many things, with fails at many things, we had success like in many conversation. But one thing that we need to remember, especially in our days, because we are working a lot on social media, and sometimes we feel that there are like a distance because we are not there physically with people. So when you get a call with a new recruit, most of the times those recruits are afraid of, the judgment, or like putting themselves out there. So when they call you, most of the times when they start, they just want to be heard because they are in their emotional mindset. Okay. But it happens to me. Like, I was reading that example and I said, oh my God, I did that so much. So they call you just to share their emotion and they just want some encouragement. But my practical brain, because I'm very like on that side, okay, is okay, here are 10 things that you can do. Okay. Instead of asking her, okay, how do you feel? What makes you afraid of that? What do you think that you can do? Like, to throw them the ball. Okay. So that person, that new recruit, okay, is in an emotional conversation, but I didn't match it. And it made me think. I want to share, Sylvain, also another example. It happened to me probably in 2023. One of my recruit, she was always like so autonomous. I never had to do anything. I never take credit for what she's done, okay? But at some point, she had some difficulties. She was doing a lot of like international products and all of that. And unfortunately, she didn't receive like her products. And she becomes really stressed. But because before that, I never had to reach for her, okay, on the good side or on the bad side, like she was reaching for me. But that things got her like in a stress mode, okay, that was making her not talking to me. So at some point, I've ask her a question really on the, let's say, the decision making side. What is happening to you? Like, I don't see you at the meeting and all of that. But because like I didn't ask her a question about how she feel, she got really like let's say afraid of me and mad at me because like she felt that I didn't understand her and that it was my responsibility to read her. But like the sign that she gave me before were not that. So yes, it can create sometimes tension, but you got to learn from it. And this is the reason, that is one of the reasons why we are covering also like that book.
Yeah. So when when we read and when we learn through the process in that book, we feel sometimes that, oh my God, we really messed up with people, and sometimes I'm having a bad day, let's say, and I just want to Michelle ask, how's your day? And I'm starting to, let's say that that was not my best day, and I'm just trying to ventilate and to vent. And he said, oh, okay, but did you think about doing this? And you should do that. What Julie Shay is doing? And then, so, okay, no, I don't want to hear this. I just want to, you listen to me and you ask question about how I'm feeling. And Eventually, yes, I'm going through that. Okay, we need to find solution, but at the moment I just want to, release the pressure and just tell you what's happening right now, and don't be in the solution mode. So you know what, we are learning through that process. All right, okay, so rule number one, it's ask yourself, okay, what chair is my interlocutor sitting at the moment? Okay, this is very important. Role number two is share your goal and ask for each other goals, because when we want to start a conversation, we want to be transparent. Okay, if we want to become a super communicator, we don't have to hesitate to clarify what kind of conversation we're having. So you can ask, hey, I just want to make sure we are on the same page. Okay. Are you looking for advice, or you just need to ventilate? So that way, if you are trying to be to clarify your intention. So the people, Michelle is going to tell me, ask me that question. So I'm going to say, no, no, I just want to ventilate right now. Okay. After that, we're going to be on solution mode. And this is good. I love it. So you can ask question.
And it's actually very powerful because it takes all away like the guesswork. Okay, sometimes you're with like certain type of people and you always have to guess, can I say this, can I say that, okay, instead of really asking the question. So um I have like an example that I want to share with you that is coming from the book, and it's about like sales meeting. So here it's an investment banker. So they were in a really competitive environment, actually. So I'm pretty sure that in the real estate environment, it's kind of like this also sometimes. So when you get like in that type of environment, people like sometimes their ego can make them like scream in a meeting or just try to make a point and go through that. So some researchers were actually interested in that type of environment. So what did they realize is, yes, everybody was screaming at each other. And when they left the meeting, everybody was like angry, but they had to have that meeting like every week because the company were asking for more result. So what they try is during the research, they ask everyone to write their goals on a piece of paper. And before they start the meeting, just 5 minutes before, they ask everyone to share what is their goal for the meeting. Some of them were like, did agree to share their goals, but some were not. So some were writing like on their sheet, like, I want to talk about, we want to choose a budget that everyone agrees on. Some others will just say like, we want to air our complaint and feel each by everyone. And what did they realize is by sharing their goals, okay, the complaint actually and the screaming in the meeting were reducing by a big amount, but also even if their goals were not meet by the end of the meeting, let's say like a technical goal about like the budget, they did leave the meeting much more happy. Why? Just because they felt heard. So here it's so important because when you share your goals, even if it's not met, because the conversation can go in many other ways, just because you feel heard can completely change the feeling that you have about that conversation. So it's really impactful.
I love it because when I was at school, you finish school, and sometimes once a month we have, like, let's say, a meeting, and we have received okay, what we are going to cover. Okay, and it's usually points that no discussion. It's just, we want to give you the information, and some people, they have their kids, so they are in a rush. Okay, so let's say you finish the school at 3:30, you have the meeting until 5:30, and then you have to go to the kindergarten, you have to pick up your kids before 6, so you're living with stress. Okay, not me, but the other um, parents. And it's supposed to be information, but some teacher, they have they feeling something emotional, and they want to try to make sure that we are going to take care of that problem, and they start and become emotional, and we are all the rest there to receive the information. We are there for the point number one, okay, to make sure that we are taking care of business, and number two, they are emotional, and so it creates frustration. So I can feel your example because I live it. So, when you ask that type of questions, so if we knew, it could create like psychological security. Okay. So we don't play hide and seek, okay, with our intention. So today we are going to take care of information. And if you want to vent, if we have a problem, it's in my office. Okay. So that way, it's not going to create less
Frustration.
frustration. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
Okay, so let's jump like to rule number 3. Ask about feelings, not just facts. And here, like, we really need to give you a little bit information about what is a feeling. Okay, so here is something that we've been working a lot, and I was remembering like some of the first podcasts that we did. Okay, so the author explained that people, okay, who connect the best don't ask factual questions. And in some of the book that we've covered, one sentences that keeps sticking into my head is the greater the questions, the greater the answer.
Okay,
Okay,
give me
so
an example.
huh?
Give me an example.
Yes, I will get to that. Okay. So let's say that, let's state what is a factual question. Where do you live? Okay. So those questions are fact. Okay. It's pretty simple. But let's say that I'm meeting a new recruit, like in a dream interview or in a meet and greet, or we have a couple meeting, or she's with me since like a couple months. So I can ask her, what job are you doing? Or how long have you been doing that job? Yes, she will answer me. But what I really want to know as a leader and in my business is much more what attracted you to that field. Or what are you looking for in a work environment? What is important for you? What gets you out of your bed in the morning and get excited to work? So now I'm not only asking her about her job, I will know it, okay, what she's doing or what he's doing, but he will share with me, okay, what he's looking for and how he feels emotional in a way that he feels good and what he doesn't like. So with that, it will help me with the next questions, but also adapt my intervention when we get to the point of talking about more things that are factual. So it's getting from a robot mode that is only factual question, but into a human mode, because if we get the chance to connect and understanding what type of environment, it gives me other opportunity to connect with that person and share also a bit about myself.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. So, yeah. So this is a very really good. Okay, number 4. Okay, so we are going to exploring identities. Okay, so we want to make sure that the last rule concerns the social side. Okay, we have to be aware that in a discussion, we are not just two individual. We are two member in different group. We are having so many identity.
Yes, exactly. And the author explained that if we ignore the social identity of the other person, we risk to offend like a sensitive chord of them. So what does he mean by the different social identities? This is something that Maria Melanie and Marie-Pierre have covered in one of their book. I don't remember. I think it was First Thing First. They were talking a lot about what are your roles and goals, and you should have at maximum 7. which means that you are, let's say that you are a sister, you are an aunt, you are a partner, you are a businessman, businesswoman, you are a friend. So there's many type of roles and goals. So you need to understand that those roles and goals interact with each other. So yes, I am a businessman, but even if I am in that roles right now, I'm still influenced by, let's say, being a partner with Jonathan. So if we had like an argument in the morning, it will influence me in my job. So it's to understand that no matter what is that identity, those roles and goals, they influence each other. And when you understand them well, you can adapt your discussion and really be sure that you didn't get to a sensitive chord that can create tension with the other person.
Yeah. So if Jonathan upset you, so now as a director, you're going to be upset?
Well, maybe not upset, but it will affect like the way that I react or coach my people.
Yeah. And yeah. And you remember I talked about the story of the CIA. Okay. So the guy who tried to recruit a spy. Okay. And he have to take care of the most of the identity of Yasmina. So Yasmina, she was a sister. Okay. She works for foreign
Country.
ministry.
Yeah.
Ministry, yeah. Okay, so she have many identities. So when he wants to connect, okay, he has to make sure that he is understand the all personality of Yasmina. Okay, so this is so important. So I love it, Jean-Philippe. So it's going to help us to through the process. And I want just when you talk about the investment banker, of course, when we are with friends, okay, or a spouse, and we have something that we want to discuss, and it's very important. So maybe you're not going to write and ask her to write something and then we're going to share it. No, no. But you are going to prepare yourself. Maybe you're going to try to determine, okay, what is your goal of the important discussion, okay? And you're gonna formulate it a good way in hope to say it correctly, okay? And when you are with your friends, you have to read the room. You have to make sure that you are going to observe them and you're going to say, okay, right now, are they emotional? Okay, so if they are emotional, so maybe it's time to ask question to go deeper in the emotional, but we're not going to stay there. Okay, sometimes we want to become practical. Okay, we want to find, let's say, solution about this problem. Okay, and sometimes we just want to make social. Okay, talk about other people. We want to talk about what we are living, how we see the world. So we have to make sure. So this week, guys, make sure that you are when you talk with someone, just try to identify, are we in number one, are we talking practical solution, number two, are we becoming emotional, or number three, most of the time 70% of the time we are in a social mode. So which type of conversation are we? So this is very important. And in the book, I love it, you know, Jean-Philippe, he said, okay, you're gonna cover this because he said that in different school they install a process just to make sure that the kids we know which type of help we are going to offer them. So that reminds me when I was in first grade, you know, a young lady, she come to me and she said, oh, she's looking at me. Jean-Philippe, I have to that kind of problem. She's looking at me. Oh, okay. So, question you can ask is, okay, do you need to be helped? Okay. Do you need to be hugged? Or do you need to be heard? So this is how you can help them. So in the book, they put like a pictogram. Okay. So I can see myself in my classroom having those pictogram and whoops. Okay. And asking them, okay, in what type of help do you need? Do you want my help? Do you want to be heard, or you want to be hugged? So I love it. So Jean-Philippe, how do you see yourself in
In high school, doing
high
that,
school with that?
being laughed at. Okay, that's what will happen. Being laughed at.
Okay, so this is good for elementary school. So, we have to read the room. So I love it. All right. So thanks, everyone. So, in conclusion, so we want to make sure that we identify all the type of conversation. Make sure that you share your goal, you ask deep question, and you respect identity.
Yes, and try just to start apply it. Yeah, we just cover it like very summary this morning, but try to apply those four rules. And let me just tell you that your leadership can completely change, especially in our business in an MLM. So on that, thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow morning with Maria and Marie Pierre, and Sylvain will be back on next Monday. Bye,
Monday.
everyone.